What's good? Welcome to another P-Dot Ventures review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the MetaQuest 3S 128 gigabytes. And of course, I do have an Amazon affiliate link in the description. What's that mean? That means if you use that link to get this item off of Amazon, I'll get a little bit of kickback, help support the channel. Otherwise, we'll get straight into her. This is a beautiful little piece of kit here. I've been looking to get a VR headset for a while and was waiting until, it got a little bit on the cheaper end, was a little bit more accessible, especially because VR games can be a little expensive as well, usually mostly AAA titles and such, at least on the MetaQuest itself. What does it come with? A little extendo piece to go in here. This is so you can wear glasses while you use the headset. I do wear glasses, but not when I use the headset. I don't seem to have too bad of a problem. But it's fairly easy to snap in there. I was kind of messing around with it. But you do want to be super gentle with this. I've heard a lot of stories about it being pretty fragile. But I think that's more of just you don't want to mess around with it too hard because it's pretty expensive. Of course, the controlation devices, beautiful little pieces here. Nice little tactile functionality. Stick drift. I've had this thing for a few weeks, if I didn't mention, and haven't had any problems. I don't know if that's a huge issue or not. I could maybe have a secondary review in the future, possibly one with some actual footage of me using it. But I'm fairly certain you know how it looks when you're playing with a VR headset. It also comes with a USB-C cable, maybe 3 feet on it, maybe 4. And then a charging block, which is pretty decent because those can even be expensive. The charge time, they say about 2 hours to get it fully charged. I've never been super paying attention to see if that's exactly true or not. And you get a couple hours of playtime out of her. Of course, you could get like a Kiwi head extension, battery piece. And I'm looking into that, and I'll of course do a review video on that as well when when or if I do pick that up. But otherwise, it is a fairly nice little piece to be able to just kind of run, use it freely, not connected to anything. You kind of feel like Tony Stark. You're moving around. You can be like writing some notes down while you're like, listening to music. There's a lot of accessibility there. Of course, you can use like Steam VR Link and stuff like that to connect it to your computer so you can play like Steam VR games, other avenues that you can take there. I do use the Steam Link. I've been playing like Payday 2 VR, things like that, and it's a very, very responsive, piece of kit. Seems like it knows what you're doing. It knows your movements. Very rarely do I have any problems. Maybe once in a while with like the boundary that you set up, you can kind of set custom boundaries around the area while you're wearing it and activate like pass-through mode so you can see through and see through the headset into the space around you, and then also have things popping up there. So it all works very very cohesively. In terms of the headset itself, like the strap, it can be a little wonky in terms of comfort, but of course you can get different ones, like the KiwiCo battery head strap and all that stuff will be a little bit more comfortable. But I haven't had too many problems with it, in terms of breathability. I don't get too sweaty in there. I haven't had to wipe off the lenses yet, but I recommend, microfiber cloth, stuff like that. They do say to fully shut it down, because you can kind of do like a half shut off sleep mode, but you should fully shut it down each time you're using it, and then reboot it back up next time. And it seems to work fairly well like that. I think I've only had a few issues where I left it on for like a couple play sessions and should have turned her off. But in terms of space, I haven't had any problems either. Overall, fairly nice piece of kit here. Very, very decent. Very nice to have a VR headset, and it just functions very well. And you don't have to worry about like your PC being like the super optimal beast. Even though, I do have a half decent laptop and I can run some games and stuff. I haven't had any problems yet. But if need be, you could just run games straight off like the MetaQuest store or whatever it's called. In terms of, the actual like MetaQuest store stuff, it's all very functional, very you know, intuitive. There's a couple like weird things, like if you say you're in like a game and you double tap this onto your headset, like a controller, either one of them, you just do a light double tap and it'll go into pass-through mode. Like there's, you know, there's secret little things that like you may accidentally activate or may not, but I'm pretty sure you can just turn all that off in settings. Otherwise, I haven't had, you know, any issues at all. So I do recommend picking this up. Of course, the MetaQuest 3 itself is going to be very similar, slightly different, but I'm fairly certain if this one is decent, it'd also be worth possibly picking up that 3 if you want to go down a little bit harder on the cash. Otherwise, great piece of stuff. Let me know if there's anything you think I missed in the comments. Make sure to stay tuned for other reviews of, you know, MetaQuest VR related stuff, and basically anything off of Amazon. We're trying to kind of work that affiliate program, and I order a lot off of Amazon, so I figure I can give my 2 cents on what items are good and not good, and this one is a banger. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know when future content's coming out, and otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.